This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Memorial Day weekend is a time to remember those who sacrificed their lives for our country, but there's a problem with the way many veterans are treated under Oregon's new $1 million COVID lottery. Why many vets are finding themselves excluded from the drawing.
Over a decade I've been here, and at this point, I feel as though we need some more support.
After COVID shutdowns, riots, and now 3 break-ins, a downtown Portland business owner isn't sure how much longer her salon can survive, and she's not alone. And Memorial Day weekend in Portland means it's time for Rose Festival, and the fun officially begins this weekend. Bryant Corkley will join us this morning to preview the events and, of course, the changes to the festival this year.
I know, as we get closer to June, you got to think about Rose Festival. Tons going on. Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. Drew is one of those enjoying the long weekend, but we want to get you ready for yours. This weather is something else.
Yeah, it would be great weather to have the Fun Center open. Of course, none of that's happening this year for the Rose Festival, but this would be the weekend, right? Radar is showing a few scattered showers lingering, which we expected. Quite frankly, we're seeing more than I expected. Up around Astoria, a little bit of rain. Up around Mount Hood into the Cascades. Otherwise, it's mostly dotting over the Coast Range. Downtown Portland's dry. You folks in Salem are dry right now. The shower chance, I think, quickly fades once we get through 9 or 10 o'clock this morning, and then we'll see clearing skies. This turns into a really nice day. Right now, out at the airport, cloudy skies, 52 degrees. Later today, it's sunshine and 69.
Ah, that's lovely. Thank you, Rod. Well, Oregon is trying to figure out a big old problem with its vaccine lottery.
Yeah, as it stands right now, many veterans are not included in the drawing. Pat Doris looked into that and other vaccine developments.
Couple of big things to tell you about. Number one, remember, you're in the Oregon COVID lottery if you got a shot from the very beginning up until June 27th. This is not just for new people. This is for everybody who's gotten the shot. Okay, almost everybody. As of right now, people who got the shot through the VA system, the Veterans Administration in Portland, your names are not being entered right now. And that's a lot of people. That's about 28,000 people. Now, they say it's a national problem, and hopefully someone at the national level will solve it. But basically, there's a pipeline that goes from the Portland VA to the federal government and does not go through the state. So when you got your shot through the VA, the state doesn't know. And the VA says it has no system to sort out all those names and give it to the state. So that's a problem. Both sides, but the VA and the governor's office say they're working on it. Governor's office is very sure they'll have this figured out by the time of the drawing on the 27th, but they don't have it figured out yet, so fingers crossed. The other big thing is that the Oregon Convention Center on Thursday was going to stop offering first doses. It was going to be only second doses, and then they're eventually closing down in June. But they've now announced that Johnson & Johnson vaccines will be available at the Oregon Convention Center. You can drop in anytime, no appointment. I mean, anytime that they're open. Check the All for Oregon website. But that's pretty cool. So if you're going and taking your grandmother, for example, and helping her get that second shot, and you have not been vaccinated, now you can do it just like that. So those are a couple of big things going on. I'm Pat Doris reporting.
Well, misinformation was flying at a Clark County Board of Health meeting, and it came from the person in charge of the meeting.
There have been 4,000 deaths in the United States from this and 10,000 in Europe from these vaccines.
So that is County Chair Eileen Queering O'Brien describing a death toll of people after getting the vaccine that the CDC says is not true. Though more than 4,000 people in the U.S. have died after getting vaccinated, the CDC says in the cases it has studied, the vaccines had nothing to do with their deaths. O'Brien went on to call the vaccines experimental as she lobbied for ending clinics in schools. That is Dr. Alan Melnick you see there. He responded at that meeting and then with us.
The vaccines were studied, rigorous clinical trials. They're safe and they're highly effective. They're not experimental at all.
Dr. Melnick says clinics like the one at Ridgefield High School are a good way to reach students and others in the community, and he says they will continue.
The Washington Department of Health says it hasn't found a link between COVID vaccinations and a type of heart inflammation in young people, but it's still investigating. The condition is called myocarditis. One health official says they typically see cases this time of year caused by viral infections. Doctors say a teenager has a better chance of getting myocarditis from COVID than from the vaccine.
At this point, I think it's important to just say again, there's no clear causal relationship between the vaccines and myocarditis, but we are watching this very closely along with our partners at DOH and the CDC. And really, we're looking forward to more information so that we are able to determine whether there's a relationship there at all and then make ongoing recommendations.
That's Dr. Elizabeth Mead. She says vaccination is the best way to protect kids from COVID. Children are more likely to be okay if they get COVID, but more than 300 children in the U.S. have died from the virus.
Here's some other local headlines we're tracking. The Oregon National Guard has been called to Salem to help alleviate a dire nursing staff emergency at the Oregon State Hospital. OHA has asked for at least 30 nurses from the Guard after Director Pat Allen said they've exhausted all other options. So many staff are out right now because they've either been exposed to COVID and are quarantining, a family member of theirs has the virus, or they're just on vacation time off. Hospital officials say last week over 33% of their staff were out. An Oregon bill that would have allowed motorcycle lane splitting was vetoed by Governor Kate Brown. Lane splitting is when motorcyclists drive between cars when traffic stalls. Brown cited concerns from law enforcement that lane splitting is too risky for the biker. Another business owner thinking about leaving downtown Portland after her Pulse Salon on Southwest Yamhill was broken into for a third time. Owner Suzanne McLean is asking for support after a window was broken and a computer was stolen. Of course, she is not the only one struggling to survive downtown. Owners say violence and vandalism are major factors in their business's unclear future. And those are some of your morning headlines.
Well, if you guys are looking for something fun to do this holiday weekend, we have you covered. After a year of restrictions, this Memorial Day will see the return of several events. Maybe not as big as they have been, but they are back. KGW's Bryant Clerkley is live with more on what's happening. Good morning, Bryant.
Good morning, Brenda, and let's start with the Multnomah County Fair. That's going down Saturday and Sunday at Oaks Park. And this is the 115th consecutive year, and this year, also, although limited, the fair will open in person. It's changing the times and offering other virtual options at the Oaks Park Dance Pavilion. It's free to see the exhibits. You need to schedule a time to get in, wear your mask, and respect personal distances.
There are things starting to happen again. We're one of the first ones. We want to get back to some semblance of normalcy, and this will be a good start.
Other events to consider: if you like to rollerblade, you can do it along the Portland waterfront with the Rose City Rollers. They will meet at the Hampton Opera Center parking lot on Saturday and Sunday. And if you want to check out a show, the Clinton Street Theater will host The Amazing Bubble Man, and it's also back to its weekly Rocky Horror Picture Show performance. And lastly, the Rose Festival. There are a lot of changes this year because of the pandemic, but some of the events are still happening. The treasure hunt starts this weekend. The Queen's coronation will happen next month at the Washington Park Rose Garden. And it's been a tough year for events, but a lot of them are back. For a full list, you can check our website, and the article is called 8 Things to Do This Weekend on KGW.com. Back to you guys.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite Friday things we do, always giving us good things to look forward to. And you, sir, are right at the top of the list. The weather is going to be perfect.
Wait, the weather or me? I got lost in your...
Let's start with the weather.
All right, hey, we've been talking a lot about the warm-up coming and the sunshine coming for the weekend. All of that's still on track. If you are headed to the beach, they have some lingering showers this morning, but it will be dry this afternoon. Tomorrow at the coast, on average, mid-60s. Sunday, on average, mostly sunny and about 70. And on Memorial Day, Monday, about 75 degrees with generally mostly sunny skies. I really don't see any signs of a marine layer in the morning, so I think generally it's going to be partly cloudy starts and sunny afternoons over the next several days for the coast. Cloudiness offshore will hold that way, and again, we are seeing some lingering showers still showing up on radar this morning, especially up in Clatsop County, then kind of bumping into the Cascades. That should all go away 9-10 o'clock this morning. We have mostly cloudy skies here in the valley to begin your Friday. Early temperatures 47 Hillsboro, 50 in Gresham, 49 out in Sandy this morning. Other numbers, Salem's at 50 and Almsville is at 51 degrees. Here's a look at statewide temps. Dry out east. It will be a sunny day. You're in the upper 30s in John Day. You're 36 degrees in Bend this morning. So Portland 69 today, becoming sunny after our cloudy start. 80 tomorrow, 85 Sunday, 87 on Memorial Day. It still looks like we could be right around 90 next Tuesday and Wednesday, then cooling off on Thursday. That's your forecast.
Oh, man, what a stretch. All right, Rod, thank you.
We have some exciting news to deliver. You are our On Point Educator of the Year. Congratulations.
Yeah, what a moment. This was the surprise Addie Leiden from Southridge High School got when she found out she was chosen as one of the On Point Educators of the Year. How she has helped kids in her class find their voice in this extraordinary year. Plus, we're learning more about COVID immunity. Scientists now believe it can last longer than they thought. But there are 2 criteria you have to meet. We're going to explain in just 2 minutes.